Hi, I'm just popping in this morning because I want to talk to you a little bit about my newest writing called Totality. If you follow me, you know that my blog is called Writings from the Corner of Spirit and Brave. And this week I posted a writing called Totality. It came to me because, as you all know, we just had the Eclipse of 2017. And so I began the writing asking, where were you during the eclipse? I was in Wyoming, and I was in an area of Wyoming that was to be 98% of totality. I thought 98% was great. I thought there wouldn't be too much difference between 98% and totality. So I stayed home. I sat in my front yard because the traffic in Wyoming was incredible. They said, I don't know what the final count was, but hundreds of thousands of people came into Wyoming to witness the totality areas of the eclipse. So I thought, well, I'm in 98%. I'll just stay home. I'll stay in my front yard. I will just enjoy, because it's got to be close. I mean, really, what difference could a little 2% make? So I did just that. I stayed home, sat in my front yard, had the glasses, and it was incredible. Just like predicted, the temperature dropped. It became very cool. The crickets started chirping, and it got dark as if it was rain clouds, overcast. You know, it became that kind of stillness and dark. And there was a real eerie type feeling. It was very different to have that happen around noon in the middle of the day instead of evening or instead of during a thunderstorm, because there wasn't a cloud in the sky, perfectly clear skies. And I looked through the glasses and I saw the eclipse, and it was incredible, and it was an amazing experience. And I thought, this is really cool. And I thought, you know, the 98% was pretty good. And then I started hearing the stories of other people who had traveled to the areas where it was 100% totality. And I heard stories about how it got completely dark. And I saw the pictures of how the horizon in a circle all around you had this glow. And I heard about how flowers closed very quickly and then opened when it was over, just right before your eyes, in the middle of the day. And I heard about the emotional experience of it, the tears and the feelings and the incredible experience that 100% totality had on people, and how they were already making plans. In 7 years there's another one, but they would have to travel further, and how they were already making plans because they wouldn't miss it. And then I felt like I really did miss something. I felt like that 2% that I thought was no big deal really was. Because I thought the word totality, we'd heard it for weeks, and I thought it was being overused. I thought it was being given too much emphasis, too much importance. And really, 98%, you know, I thought I was pretty good. But I started thinking about that word totality and how that fits in our everyday life. And how many times do we ever really experience anything totally? You know, our mind is always so preoccupied, especially today with all the technology. We have a cell phone in front of us, or an iPad, or a computer, or a television, or the radio's on in the background. When do we ever block all that out and become 100% in a space of totality in any kind of event? I thought of a few instances where I think we feel that way, and maybe it's when we are given our newborn or our child for the first time and get to hold it. Or maybe when you say, I do, and you're right there in that moment of promising love to someone and having it promised back to you. Another event that I thought of was if you have ever been honored enough to be in the presence of someone as they've passed on to the other side of life. And I know it's a very difficult situation, but it is an honor to be with someone when they do that. And that has to create a space of totality because you are 100% there. So how can we create that in our life just on a daily basis? You first have to figure out what really is going to touch your heart. What kind of experience would that be? And I think when we lose track of time, for me, if I'm painting or if I'm writing or if I am with people that I love, and you lose all track of time, and time just seems to go by and you think, oh my gosh, how did that day go by so fast? It's because you were totally in the moment. You were totally in the experience. You were loving it, every minute of it. So we need to create that more. We need to pay attention. And in the writing, I give specific examples. For example, if you have a 2-year-old that gets down on the ground when they see a bug, and they're fascinated because they've never seen that bug before. Well, what if we did that with them? And experience the totality of seeing something for the first time. Or if you have teenagers, and teenagers don't come out and just say, I need to talk. They kind of hint. And what if they did that and you actually shut off your cell phone and the television and let dinner wait and sat knee to knee and eye to eye and had a conversation with your child? Or if you have an aging parent who repeats themselves and you've heard this story a million times, but they start to tell you again, but what does it matter? Listen and become totally in that moment, because there will come a day when you won't have the opportunity to have that moment again. Think about this with the people that you love, with your spouse, with your significant other, with your family members. Think about it at work. How often do you totally listen to someone when they're telling you about a project or telling you about something that's happening at work? Because we always have 6 different things on our mind at the same time. How often are you totally with yourself? Do you ever take times of peace and quiet just for you, just to regenerate your heart, let your soul rest, and let your mind rest from everything else in the world and all the other responsibilities and pulls that you have, pulling you every which way in your life? How often are you totally in a moment just for you, and just listen to the quiet and just do something for you? So I challenge you to think about that word totality and how you can create totality in your life, how you can do some of these simple things, and how you can share it with others, and how we pass so many people every day in our lives. Do you ever totally look them in the eye? Do you ever totally smile? Do you ever totally feel joy that you share with them and share kindness? So think about how you can be totally in the space of totality in your life. I encourage you to read the post if you haven't read it yet. You'll find the link in the writing above. And please comment and tell me what you think and what your experience of the eclipse was and how you feel totality fits in your life. This is Penny, Heart to Heart, talking about totality. I'm Penny Hunt. Thanks for watching.